Welcome back to another week of The Real Football right here on Star FM 99.9, coming live from you out from Blacktown. I'm Curtis, joined by Luke and Anthony as always. How you guys going?
Very good, very good. Very excited.
Very excited or very disappointed? Because I'm quite...
Oh, well, let's just not talk about this morning. We're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But this week, so Luke, before I continue, how are you going?
Yeah, I'm feeling very welcome. When you said welcome, guys, I did feel welcome. So that's a tick for
Shows
that.
that I'm off to a good start.
Yeah, that's a good start. We'll keep that welcoming next time as well. I like that.
Nice and warm on this poor day. Anyway, we'll talk about the Socceroos this morning and the previous game against the UAE. We'll also talk about the Sydney Derby, expecting 44,000 people. You guys excited?
Oh, very excited. I mean, David Gallup came out today and said that the A-League is bigger than the NRL.
Wait and see.
Crowd-wise, yes, because they haven't sold out Allianz Stadium actually in 5 years. So we've done it in 3 seasons. So, but we're not quite there yet.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We'll wait and see. I said the Socceroos lost 1-0 to Qatar this morning, drew 0 with the UAE a few days ago, leading into the Asian Cup. We'll discuss that, we'll dissect that, as well as the rest of the A-League fixtures. Friday night, Adelaide versus Victory. Adelaide led over, expecting between 30,000 35,000 people.
Record there too.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Euro qualifiers as well later on in the show, as well as preview some of European club fixtures this week. Man, the Sydney Derby, it's like the Sydney Civil War.
So good. Can't wait. It's like East-West Germany, mate. Come on.
It is, but we're going to start with a song. We'll start with Better Than by John Butler Trio. Stay tuned to SWIFM 9.9. When we come back, we're actually going to talk about the Socceroos. We'll start off with the Socceroos first. We'll get the sad things out of the way. Talk about with that defence, that midfield, that attack. Do we have a plan B besides Tim Cahill?
This just
doesn't look like
it.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sorry from 99.9. Welcome back to the real football. Apologies, that was not John Butler Trio, but better than that was Hey Jealousy by Gin Blossoms. Computer decided to do its own thing.
I preferred it anyway, so it's okay.
Well, that's a bit mean to John Butler. You're looking like John Butler, except blonde.
Oh, thank
if
you.
You're
I look like somebody different every week, don't I, Curtis?
You do.
That's
you
good.
do. You look like a Melbourne City executive on Saturday when we went to the game. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Socceroos. How do you describe, I guess, such a performance after the highs? I get not the highs of the World Cup, but just the confidence that we gained from it. How do you explain the past few days?
Well, it's not even in Australia. If you look around the world, everybody's just been capitulating.
But let's not compare ourselves to around
No,
the world.
I'm not comparing, but I'm just saying. But look, everybody wanted this. The reason why Pimovac and not Pimovac, Holger Osik, they were always questioned. Why aren't we bringing the young generation in? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? And just had to do that in such a short amount of time. And I'm looking at whether these players want to step up, not so much at Ange, because I know he's trying to fit the system and he's only got a short amount of time, but are these players, these young players coming in, are they stepping up to the mark, and are they going to be this new golden generation? At the moment, the answer is no. Where do we go from here? I'm not sure.
Well, the past two international dates have been about making national pool, bringing in new players, seeing some new blood, and I'm actually really interested to see who's going to be in the final 20 men. I think it's 21 men for the Asian Cup.
Well, I think we've got one more game against Japan
next
before
month.
The actual squad gets announced.
And nobody really made a statement over the past four fixtures, the past two, and then the previous fixtures we saw.
They have made statements, but
not positive statements.
Exactly right.
Yeah. When you mentioned Pimovac, Anthony, like the hair stood up in the back of my head. But that's a different story. I was hoping that song wouldn't finish because I really don't want to talk about Socceroos. I stayed up to watch it and I put in a lot of work, alright? And to say it was a catastrophe was an understatement. I've got to use that twice in 2 weeks, so
Can you
I'm
make
very
one for
happy with
UAE?
Don't put it on the spot. That took a lot of brain power for me. It was that 500th game, which is about how many fans were there as well. So, I mean, that's positive. It's nice that the fans are getting the swing of it, considering they've got a World Cup coming up as well. You know,
Qatar, yeah.
They're real football nation, you know. But yeah, as you said, 39 players were used in this last 11 matches, and no player has started every single match. Except, and Davison and Leckie were until this morning. So, more players than the Wanderers probably in their history.
Yeah,
in 11 matches.
But speaking of the Socceroos, again, the defensive issues have cost us the win.
Schoolboy error.
It was a schoolboy. For those who didn't see it, pretty much the line raised, went up, put pressure, tried to play the offside trap. Wilkinson said about 5 yards behind.
Chris Hurd, I mean...
And the clearance was poor.
Well, in the system that Postecoglou plays, wouldn't you just play that back to the keeper?
Well, I got two questions. Why was Chris Hurd on the left in that situation if he was a right back? Unless he was being deployed in the midfield. And two... Why would you kick it back into the middle? Yeah. You learned that as a 4-year-old. You never cleared a ball back into the middle. And then why wasn't Wilkinson reading the line? Topo Stanley, Franjic, Hurd, they all rose, and Wilkinson just got caught ball watching, and Qatar scored.
Well, let's not forget who was the Indian biggest culprit. My personal best friend, my fan, obviously. I was sweating when he started. His name is Topo Stanley, guys, because we've got a few things riding on him starting an Everton Champions League match, and we won't go into that, but he started, and he's probably the worst player because he gave the goal away. So, I mean, that makes me quietly happy.
Computer is going nuts.
I'll carry through.
The computer is going nuts. I have no idea.
Technical difficulties here.
Seriously, the computer's like a Sampang.
Was the great assist by Topo Stanley, by the way? Did you see he just passed it 1 metre straight to their striker? It was like a reverse of Polyak on the weekend.
Look, touching on that, like I said before, we don't know who's going to get into this Asian Cup squad because not just Topo Stanley, but so many players didn't make a positive statement in Edge. It's probably going to give him the headache that he didn't want. He wanted a positive headache. He wanted a headache where he went, it's going to be tough to say, look, buddy, you're not going to the Asian Cup even though you do deserve it.
Yeah.
It's going to be, we're going to be taking players who are underperforming to this cup, heavily relying on an old man in Tim Cahill.
Well, who's that? I know we've long suggested Tommy Juric is the man, but he sort of hasn't got his chance. Apart from Juric, who's the man to succeed Cahill? Should something happen between now and January and he gets injured and all things, Well,
let's go through the nominations of this amazing game show of who's going to be the next Tim. Taggart's injured. Juric has his injury problems. Who else?
Josh Kennedy.
But he's probably the one you don't want to turn to because of his age as well. You want someone for the long term.
Yeah. If Rukavica can get in form, I know he's a winger, but he can play up front.
I don't know. Maybe you could put Leckie back up front, but again, every time that's been trialled, it hasn't worked out well.
I think you're forgetting the number one man. He's been recently acclimatised to Australia. His name is Lebanon Halidi. Okay, and he's being touted as a new Asian star in Kawasaki Frontale.
In Japan.
They're offering money for him, which is just amazing. So let's not forget Labrinov.
What's a good thing he didn't choose to represent Albania, because their team got into a fight with the Serbian team and the Serbian fans. We'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that one later. Imagine if Berisha went too. Would have been very, very interesting.
But yeah, and Josh Kennedy as well. He's not totally out of the picture. He can hold the ball up. He can win a header, and he has been good in the past.
And Andrew also said that Luke Wilkshire isn't also out of the picture. And the way the defence is, I still believe Luke Wilkshire should have been at the World Cup and should be there now. I mean, he's playing week in, week out for Feyenoord, a big Dutch side. He's playing European football this year, Europa League. I still don't understand why we don't have many experienced defenders in this.
Understandably, but like, what's the future in keeping him? He's 34. There's no upside.
That's a good point.
He's not that much better.
Even if you have young defenders, you still need to have that one leader who's been there, done that. 2 World Cups, an Asian Cup, 2 Asian Cups.
Sure.
Like, you need at least one to go, all right, look, I've been here, I've done that, this is what we're going to do, because they don't have one right now.
Especially when you're making Chris, if he's going to be, French is obviously going to be first choice, he's going to be second choice, you got to have someone like Wilkshire there, I think, as well.
Exactly. And probably the most experienced centre-back we have at the moment is Alex Wilkinson, and on an international stage, he's not as experienced
as well.
And Luke Wilkshire, you know what I mean? And this team needs experience as well. It needs the balance of youth and experience. We can't just rely on Bresciano and Cahill.
I think the thing we've got in our favour at the moment is none of the real top Asian teams are doing well, I suppose.
Yep.
That's the only thing we've got in favour. But I think come January, I'm hoping come January, in front of our home crowd, I think hopefully we get, buoyed and get that Aussie spirit, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. That's what we play well on.
Yeah, and we can do something pretty great and hopefully win the championship.
Well, speaking of the other Asian teams, they didn't have that much confidence. Or Japan did. The others did not. Iran probably looked like they didn't play the best football, but they did get out of the group. To me, they look like the favourites. Besides us, I mean, obviously being in Australia, we have to win this cup.
What Japan, are we, 9th ranked in Asia now?
Yeah, we are, but the rankings, they don't mean anything.
We don't know. They don't. But I hate them.
Japan are looking terrible. Out of the heavyweights in Asia, they're probably the worst one. They struggled to get past Jamaica, who, come on, it's Jamaica. An own goal, at home. Yep. They got done by Brazil 4-0 this morning in Singapore. Korea's still going through their whole transition. They lost their coach after the World Cup as well. So they're going to be a big question mark heading into this cup. The only, I guess, teams heading into this Asian Cup with positives are all from West Asia. UAE are looking like underdogs, and Iran have been buzzing since the World Cup. Plus, they've re-signed Carlos Queiroz, and he looked like he was going.
Yunus Mahmoud in Iraq, we're forgetting
Ali Abbas
as well.
Back. See, the West Asian teams are looking good.
I would never count them out.
You can never count out the West Asian teams.
And it will suit them because it's going to be quite hot in Australia in January.
It's probably like their spring, and that's probably the best time you want to play football.
It's 43 degrees between the Wanderers and Sydney FC, one fixture last year at 7 p.m. at night in January in Australia. So if it's anything like that this year, it's going to be a nightmare. 43 degrees at kickoff.
And speaking of Sydney FC and Western Sydney, we're going to talk about the derby after we get... Finally, the computer can have its moment to shine after, screwing me over 2 times in 12 minutes. It's like a new record. This is Rock and Roll by Eric Hutchinson. Stay tuned, we'll preview the Sydney derby.
Let's hope it's that song.
It better be, because last time, it's like on shuffle mode.
All will be revealed.
Sorry, FM 9.9. It's the song. It's the song. Better not screw me over, you stupid computer. Now we love you. We love YFM. Stay tuned. More real football. We'll talk about the Sydney derby when we get back. Corey Gamero taking a little bit of a swipe at the Wanderers too, calling them the little brother. Will they make him eat his words on the weekend?
We'll see.
We'll see.
YFM. Waiting around for the weekend, figuring which club to sneak in. Fancy drinks and $50 cover charge. Lately it's been a big hassle. Heineken to Newcastle. Make sure he's fitting in and living large. Disregard the lies that he will tell him what he's probably like, cause it's not hard. His charm's gonna get him through the night. Cause if you wanna rock, he rocks. If you wanna roll, he rolls. He can roll with the punches as long as he feels like he's in control. And if he wanna stay, he stays. If he wanna go, he goes. He doesn't care how he gets there, long as he gets somewhere he knows. Oh no, and na 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 na. See her, every makeup and cut t-shirt. Every girl out wants to be her. But they look the same already by just reading the magazine secrets, forgetting the topical regrets. She comes home all alone, the nights are buzzed into must. Swiveling her hips and the look she gives, it's all a trust. If only and she knew where she lived. If she wanna rock, she rocks. If she wanna roll, she rolls. She can roll with the punch as long as she feels like she's in control. And if she wanna stay, she stays. If she wanna go, she goes. She doesn't care how she gets there, long as she gets somewhere she knows. Oh no, na 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 na. And in a wink, on the brink, from drink to drink, and at the bar, we cash the flow, shot to shot, it's getting hot, advance the plot to see how far it's gonna go. All depends on distant friends and grab a cab, another chance to achieve romance. Does it count cause the room is spinning? Nothing to lose tonight, they both are winning. And they fall in love as they fall in love, they sing. If they wanna rock, they rock. If they wanna roll, they roll. They can roll with the punch as long as they feel like they're in control. And if they wanna stay, they stay. If they wanna go, they go. They don't care how they get there, long as they get somewhere they know. Oh no, na 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 na. As long as they get somewhere they know. If they wanna stay, they stay. If they wanna go, they go. They don't care how they get there, they get somewhere they
Okay, Anthony, calm down. It's just the song. It's just the song.
He's applauding. Come on.
That was Rock and Roll by Eric Hutchinson, even though it played before whilst I was talking.
That was Anthony's polite clap because he's polite clapping for the weekend, getting ready.
Oh, no, there's the snaps.
For the derby.
It's the snaps. We're a very cultured show. We're cultured in Western Sydney. We'll talk about the derby on Saturday night, 7:30, 7:45. Kickoff changes every... It's about TV. I don't know. It's around that time. That time. Sydney FC, Western Sydney. Both teams looking depleted. Some players on international duty for the under-20s and for the Socceroos, all returning because the under-20s got knocked out this morning.
They did.
They're not qualifying for the under-20 World Cup next year. Well, technically the under-19s this morning. They didn't lose a game, but didn't even get out of the group.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Good old Australia. And injuries and international duties. Yanko came back yesterday. The Wanderers aren't ruling out Topo Stanley. Adeleke trained with them yesterday. Rukavica is supposed to arrive today. I don't know if he's actually touched down yet or maybe later on tonight. I'm not too sure. How do you see this derby going on? Because on paper, it's not looking like the most entertaining derby we've seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about the derby is, as everyone knows, let's get all the cliches out of the way. Well, form goes out the window, rah, 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 rah. But I'm excited for it because it's still a derby. It's going to be a sell-out crowd. And I'm going to make a deal with you, Anthony, right now on air. The loser of the derby wears the opposing team's jersey to the next derby.
No, not to the next derby because he's going to go into Sydney FC fans. He's going to get killed.
I might not even be at the next derby because you guys don't even give us tickets. You give us like 100 tickets.
It's not our fault. The stadium is small, right?
Hey.
How about to the next show?
Are you not confident?
Next show.
Are you not confident?
We'll do the next show. We'll post it on Facebook and Twitter. The Real
True
Football.
Sydney
next
FC
year, we'll take share the photo of Anthony in a Western Sydney shirt.
Gutted out. See, I'm not worried because I won't have to wear the jersey because I'm a Wanderers fan. We're going to win. But see, if you're confident in your team, you wouldn't even worry. You'd be like, yeah, no worries, no dramas at all.
I just don't want Anthony to get killed, so I'd rather have him just wear it in the studio.
Yeah, true. Fair enough. Not really. Scared Sydney FC supporter as always.
I'm not scared. I'm actually not scared for this derby.
Well,
I have full confidence in my team. Why
don't you just take the bet then? No dramas for you.
I never said I wasn't going to take the bet.
Oh my god, I'm not...
Okay,
take the bet.
I never wanted it.
Yeah, you want to make a deal? Next,
I'm not even going to be at the next derby. That's the problem.
Where will you be?
I'm not going to be there because I'm not going to be able to get tickets.
Okay, so next Sydney FC game you go to, you have to wear Wanderers jersey. And next Wanderers game I'll go to, I'll wear a Sydney FC jersey.
All right, done.
They win? Deal?
Done.
Shake on it?
We're actually shaking.
We're shaking in the studio here.
They shook hands.
It's going to be good.
Anthony, you're going to get killed. It was nice knowing you.
I'm confident.
Plus, Luke's going away in 2 weeks. It's just going to be me and me. It's going to be me, myself, and I.
I'm confident in my team. Obviously, we didn't play well on Saturday night, or the first half at least, but I'm very confident in my team with hopefully the players that we're getting back. This is probably the best time to play the Wanderers. They're very depleted. They're probably focusing on the Asian Champions League at the moment, not so much the A-League. So I think it's the best time to play them. And in front of a packed house, it's going to be... You're probably not going to be able to hear yourself think. So I am ready for it. I can't wait, and hopefully we can get the win.
All I'm thinking about right now is I'm going to have to hold auditions to fill your spot after you get killed when you go to a Sydney FC game and Wanderers shirt.
I have to agree with Anthony. It is a great time to play the Wanderers, but when is a good time to play the Wanderers? But all seriousness aside, all jokes aside, it's going to be a great game, quite evenly matched. A lot of teams are missing. Both teams are missing a lot of players, a lot of key players. Abini, as you mentioned, especially all your young guns, like young guns in the under-19s as well.
They're all coming back.
And Wanderers have a couple as well, but they won't be ready to play.
You never know. Usually the young kids, they take short time to recover, turn it around. You never know, because again, with the squads being depleted, sometimes coaches have just to take the risk. They put him on the bench.
But with the Wanderers, how well you train is how well you play. So they got a 0 for training score this week because they didn't train. So therefore, they won't play.
I'm pretty sure Popovic trusts Ocon and Postecoglou that they trained well.
Maybe.
Probably kept an eye on the under-19s anyway, and obviously you have to keep an eye on the Socceroos.
Did you guys hear that the Wanderers signed a huge new partnership with a foreign franchise this morning?
No.
McDonald's?
Yeah. Oh, you spoiled my joke.
I saw it on Facebook.
Cut it out. Who is it, guys? I can hear the anticipation.
Oh, who is it?
Everyone's banging on the
Burger
walls.
King?
They want to know AC Milan.
KFC?
Sushi Train?
Is it Real Madrid, Liverpool? You guys, you're not getting it right. No, far bigger. In true West Sydney fashion, it's McDonald's. And from today, for a year at least, you can get a Wanderers meal for $9.95. It's nuggets, burger, and all this stuff. So it's good, yeah. And the Wanderers have signed a Scottish striker. In the non-related news, Ronald McDonald.
Wow. He's full of his puns today.
Yeah, that's it.
He's full of them.
We love it.
But on a serious note,
that's a serious thing.
On a serious note, they did sign another Australian, a former it's still a current Socceroo, I guess. He hasn't been in the national team for quite a while. Nikita Rukavica trying to get his career back on track 1 year.
Thank God he went to Western Sydney.
Thank God he's just back in the A-League.
Thank God he didn't go to Perth. I mean, it just would have been for the money. But he's gone to a team where I think Popper will get the best out of him 100%. And he could be I know he's not technically going to be a bolter, but he could be a bolter for the Asian Cup squad. I think it could be a lethal injection off the bench, maybe
even as a starter,
even as the starter, whatever it is. But it's good for him and good for the A-League, I suppose.
And it's good because obviously he's eligible for the Champions League, so he can rest a few players that are eligible for that tournament. And him and Castellan and Edeleke can have more game time in the A-League. But we'll wait and see. Popovic knows how to work a rotation. Didn't go too well on Friday night though. Lost 4-1 to Melbourne victory. But it seems like they've just shoved that aside. They probably obviously dissected it, looked into it, went, all right, this went wrong. One thing went right, the goal went in, that was it. Everything else just went to the poop. That's the nicest way I can put it, let's be honest. It was terrible. It was a pretty terrible performance. But it's going to be interesting on Saturday night. Obviously, the passion's going to be the same as ever. 44,000 people, they're expecting that to release extra tickets. They totally, got rid of the whole safety issues. Don't worry, we'll put more tickets. If you all want to come, you can all come. Who cares? It's Sydney Derby. Hottest ticket in town.
It is, sold out.
Is this bigger than the Melbourne Derby?
Yep.
100%?
Yep.
Good. No, I'm the same. I just wanted to get your opinions.
No, it is. I hate those Melburnians who think that it's bigger and better. I mean, what does the Melbourne Derby represent? Nothing. You know what I mean?
Melbourne Heart really didn't have Melbourne City didn't really have anything before.
I mean, what's the representation? Manchester City? I'm pretty sure Melbourne Victory don't have a rivalry with Manchester City. I mean, the Sydney Derby is about culture, not just geography, if you get me. It's the coffee lovers versus, we'll have a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's about that. It's the culture of East versus West. I don't understand. Maybe because I'm not a Melburnian, but it doesn't seem like the Melbourne Derby actually means anything besides two Melbourne teams going at it.
And it feels like the City Derby already has so much history, even though it's only like 2 years old. It feels like it's been going on forever, like an Everton-Liverpool thing. Where
it's just that culture behind it.
And families are split as well. Like, my family's half-half, and I know your family's split as well,
Yeah,
Curtis.
my brother's a Sydney FC fan.
So it's like, it just happened. It's just like, it's so Everton-Liverpool, it's really great. Like
because everybody's family lives all around Sydney. It's not about, we support our family, we support where we're from.
Yeah,
that's what this derby's about.
Absolutely.
So, 100%. Result on Saturday night.
Well, obviously, I have to go for a Sydney FC win.
Well, you're going to be hoping too, because you'd want to be alive.
No, look, I really do think Sydney can get something out of this. As I said, perfect time to play the Wanderers, and if we get all our international players back, I think it can be a win for Sydney.
Who's coming back? Hagi Gligor, Chris Normorth,
Mark Yanko, Ali Abbas.
I know Mark Yanko back, Ali Abbas.
Bernie Beanie.
How do you go in Iraq? You don't know?
I haven't looked.
Mark Yanko did the jack of all trades. Got scored a goal, got sent off.
Won the penalty.
Just a typical Mark Yanko game. Western Sydney, they're expecting back Daniel Alessi, Joshua Sortirio, as well as Nikolai Topor-Stanley, Nikita Rukavica, Seyyad Deleke. Nobody knows if they're going to play or not. Probably not, because they just touched down in the country. No one knows how fit they are.
Yep.
So It's going to be interesting. Esperanovic and Juric did train yesterday, and they looked fit, but I don't know if he'll be willing to.
I think he's going. Like I said, I think they're already looking ahead to the Asian Champions League, which is why I say it's the best time to play the Wanderers. I think
that's a good point. Definitely. That's a good Luke.
Yeah, I'm going to go for just Wanderers edging it in a really close match here, but I'm pretty confident the Wanderers can edge it. Yeah.
I just hope Samlab and Avasco at it again. That'd be great. I've been waiting for.
I hope LaRocca just picks out a player to target all match too, because he's always.
Hey, if LaRocca wants to throw an elbow like last time, hey, that's just LaRocca.
He's only losing 4 weeks of himself.
But that doesn't not rule himself out of the Champions League.
Doesn't.
Keeps the legs fresh. You got to think of the champion. Oh, you don't know how to think of the Champions League, do you? It's changing by Sigma.
If there is still tickets out there,
and for MFA,
try and get them.
For the derby?
Yes, try and get them.
I was talking about the Champions League.
I'm just saying, there's only about 1,500 tickets left, maybe less now, but try again. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere and an amazing game.
So, from Real Football.
In the same town, trying to find something new. Broken picture frame, I've been frozen in, trying to find a better view. This ain't me, this ain't cool, this ain't what I signed up to. This ain't right, it's no good, no good. Oh, everything is changing, and I've been here for too long, going through the same things. I've been hurt and done wrong, got to move on. Say I can't do this anymore. If everything is changing, then I know, gotta let go. I don't understand playing by the same hand, how you'll find something new. I can't work it out what it's all about. I won't live my life through you. This ain't real, this ain't true, this ain't what I signed up to. This ain't right, it's no good, no good. Oh, everything is changing, and I've been here for too long, going through the same things. I've been hurt and done wrong, got to move on. Say I can't do this anymore. If everything is changing, then I know, gotta let go. I've been here for too long. 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 Everything is changing.
That was Changing by Sigma featuring Paloma Faith. From our sources, obviously, at the Real Football, we got sources from far and wide. We just got word Nikita Vučković has touched down in Sydney.
And said he would like to play in the Sydney Derby, but pre-season games, he's played a few pre-season games, he's not fully fit, but would like to be a part of it, so he might be there.
Probably shouldn't rule him out, but he did say he just has to see, because he doesn't know too much about how his pre-season went. I guess it was just one of those buys of, there's a quality player in the market, there's not too long to go in the transfer window, we got tournaments left, right and centre. Take the risk. That's what he did.
Definitely. I mean, to have him on the bench would be such a weapon. He was the player who actually retired Popovic. If you remember for Sydney FC, it was a time when Rikovic was 5 minutes behind Popovic and kicked it forward and beat him, and Popovic said, I'm too slow to play soccer anymore, and retired after that game. So
maybe it's just Popovic's way to get revenge. Maybe yeah, make it the worst spell of his career in the world. He's not going to play.
Right. But it's very fond. He's obviously very fond of him, and he knows his talent because his pace is unbelievable. So yeah, he retired Popovic in one game, basically.
There you go.
Right. Mid-season.
Well, we'll turn to the rest of the A-League that was fixed. The first round was last week. We'll also preview this round with a cracker on Friday night. Before the Sydney Derby, Adelaide vs Melbourne victory. We'll talk about last week first. Friday night, Western Sydney Melbourne victory. Touched on it a bit, but we'll talk more about Melbourne victory this time around. You're looking like the favourites.
Yeah, Simon Hill was exactly right. They are an incredible side, and they've got Mark Milligan missing as well, so he just adds another extra bit.
The depth in that midfield is insane. Look, you got Milligan, he's returning, Valeri, Broxham, as well as Finkler. And I rate Mahazi
Same, I was
highly.
about to say, he's a quality player. So they're very good signs for Melbourne. And Barisha, obviously, he got the penalty, but it's just going to be onwards and upwards for him, I think.
And their backline's looking very solid. That's probably been their Achilles heel over the past 2 seasons. And Delpierre
Georgievski looks like a good signing as well.
Georgievski, Blacktown boy.
Yep.
He's got that passion too. And that's what you need in the A-League to be success. And round 1, he's already showing it. And he looks like he's enjoying it as well.
Definitely. All three of us agreed that Victory were the favourites last week on the show. But let's not get too carried away. 4-1 was a bit flattering to them. Like, they did win, sure. But there could have been a penalty. There was a penalty that wasn't given to the Wanderers. There was a push for the first goal. And the other 3 were mistakes by the Wanderers.
See, I look at this more like championship winning teams win this game. And Victory, look, there wasn't many chances between both. I mean, the chances were probably about the same amount, but they're just clinical. And that's what you need, and that's why they signed Barisha. And that's why I list them as my favourites.
Yeah, sure, but I'm hoping we don't see Delpierre take on the Muscat role. That penalty was what Muscat would have done, and Leia pushing through the Melbourne block again. I don't want to see that because
that's just Melbourne Victory since the beginning, from day one.
They've taken the game in their own hands.
Just take the loss.
I've taken the loss. He's just
but
a bit sad. We got
they
this
do it every year. They do it every year.
It's okay, Luke.
Melbourne Victory, no surprise.
He's never going to make a bet with a Victory fan. That's all. I
hate them way more than Sydney FC. Just put it out there.
We'll talk about the next game, the F3 Derby. The might of the Central Coast versus Newcastle Jets, sorry.
United.
Mitchell Duke, Blacktown boy again, representing this area quite well. Scored in the last minute. Was it a foul? Was it not?
It was a foul. He pushed him from behind, 100%. I don't know.
It's close. It's very weak, but I don't know. Either way,
it's given. It's given anywhere else on the pitch. Put it that way.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I just saw it as much as a push as what Victory did to get the goal. Leia, Delpierre, and I saw that as a goal. To be fair, I was quite, just accepted it. You have those games, you have those days. At least it's round 1, not round 27 when it counts. We'll talk about the next game, Sydney FC, Melbourne City. Corey Gamero making a massive statement, continuing his amazing pre-season form.
Yeah. Great strike.
And David Villa got on the score sheet, probably what the fans wanted to see as well. How do you see that game?
Look, for Sydney, the first half was just absolutely shocking. I think we've been trying to play this. Arnie's been talking about this free-flowing football that he's trying to bring into the club, and the first half was just long ball after long ball. And I'm just sitting there going, what's going on here? But the second half, we sort of, I suppose, picked it up a little bit, but there's still a lot of work to do. And David Villa, he was on the field for how long? About 40 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, around that. He didn't do much. He never got
touched the ball about 10 times, maybe 15 max. But he did score a goal, which is what everyone's going to remember that game by. But
that's what you get forwards for. That's exactly what their job is to do. Not to. I mean, you got to contribute on the field, but if you get the job done and you put the ball in the net, that's what you're getting paid for.
He was casually brilliant for that goal.
Yeah.
It was just casually brilliant.
You could see it coming straight away. As soon as Duff cut the ball back, you knew it was a goal. Same as
Gamero had a perfect view of that.
Yeah.
When he was sitting, you just saw right behind him and just beautiful strike. Even though, in my opinion, it was quite a dull game. There was a lot of exciting moments. Ramsey hit the first in the first. Was it Ramsey? No, it was James Brown hit the post in the first crossbar in the first half. Yeah. And then Antonis, I thought that would have been the goal of the season if that went in.
Could have been, yeah.
The chest, the layoff, the strike, it would have been the best goal, and there were already 2 quality goals to begin with.
Then you even had the chance after with young Max Burgess having the chance. I mean, if it's
panicked.
If it's anyone else like Gamiro, Brosk, even Nick Carl, that's a goal.
I really felt sorry for him.
It's his first game on the big stage.
Poor Nick Carl.
I mean, it took him about 5 minutes to get on because Arnie changed his mind, and then when he finally got on, he just panicked and he scuffed the chance.
But I think there's good signs for both teams, especially Melbourne City. They don't look too bad. But again, what happens after VA is another story.
But Robert Corrin does come in this week against.
Could have played, but just decided not to.
I found this out a few days ago. He actually picked up an injury leading up to the game. Yeah, and they decided not to risk him because it's only round 1.
For sure. For me, I thought Duff was the man.
Yeah,
Duff was sensational, and we had the chance to watch him from a good view. And the way he plays off the ball, guys, he's so intelligent.
First half, I mean, Matt Yeoman had nothing on him. He was just killing Yeoman.
He didn't have a good game.
They subbed Yeoman off, didn't they, for Gerber?
They did, yeah.
Him and Oganovsky, I thought that was the worst game Oganovsky's ever played in his life.
Well, Oganovsky didn't train all week last week, so they just said a lot. He just got thrown into... He's coming off ankle surgery as well, so, I mean, I think he maybe should have possibly rested him for this week and played him in the derby, but that's Arnie.
It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to happen in the derby, especially if Juric starts. You got Juric or Noganovsky, two players with two injury problems
and hot heads as well.
And hot heads, exactly.
Great viewing. Worth the price just to go to watch the game.
Yeah, Wellington Perth on Sunday. Perth got the job done across the Dutch.
The Dutch.
Perth. I didn't really get to see much of that game because I was out, but it just looked like Perth finally got the players that they wanted.
Yeah, I did watch a bit of it. Actually, I thought Wellington were extremely good, and Vukovic was the man of the match. He had another sensational game. But that midfield of his head, those three forwards for Wellington were really good together, and Burns and McGlinchey.
I give Wellington, like I gave Adelaide last year. I didn't want to assess Adelaide until December last year because I knew it was going to be a massive rebuilding process. I'm going to give Wellington the same amount of time. Mm-hmm. They got new players, they got quality players, and once they get it to gear, I don't think they'll take about 10 games to win a game like last time. Yeah. But I think come December, come January, I mean, they got the Asian Cup, so that break off, like a little break, they can assess more. Mm-hmm. I feel like Wellington will come good second half of the year.
Yep. It's much like last year, I suppose.
Yeah. But this time, you got players like Alex Rodriguez, Bonaventura, Michael McGlinchey. Matthew McGlinchey. I think I'm Matthew McConaughey. Michael McGlinchey. Even Nathan Burns.
Are you blushing, Curtis?
I am.
That's so good. Yeah, no, they look very exciting, Wellington. And Perth look good. All the clubs looked promising, besides the Wanderers, and we've seen them be good in the past, so we're
the Champions League, that's where everyone's taken.
Sure. Yeah, so we're not worried about it. No team was like, wow, they look terrible. Mm-hmm. Probably the F3 dab was the boring fixture of the round, but other than that,
we're talking about strikers who could succeed Tim Cahill.
I think I know where you're going with this one.
And Bruce Jitte.
He was part of the missing generation, but maybe wants to have a new shot at this generation.
He played incredibly well against a very good Brisbane Roar side.
He's a late bloomer.
He has been.
He's a massive late bloomer.
Under Gombau, he has been a revelation, and it's good that Gombau has been able to let him play and show off his abilities because Jitte wasn't very good.
I mean, he was promising as a kid.
Yeah.
And then he went to Europe too early, and then it just, he suffered for a fair few years.
Same as Burns, yeah.
The whole Adelaide side, I thought they were just brilliant on the weekend against Brisbane.
And Brisbane still, they didn't look at their best, but they still have a very, very strong squad, even though they did lose Franjic as well as Borussia over the transfer period.
I think Franjic is maybe... It's not as... it's a tough one.
It's not because Donachie did squad, I don't go.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, a lot of the attack did come from Franjic. I mean, he was bombing on every single attack, and, that's where most of Borussia's goal did come from. So he could... I'm not going to say he is potentially a bigger loss than Borussia, but it's a big factor.
Well, Mackay did cop a 2-game ban. They didn't want to appeal it because you're not going to win an appeal where one of your leaders have just lost the plot.
Cool hand Luke. He's usually cool hand Luke.
Yeah, that was different. His facial expressions too have gone left, right, and centre.
That was good, entertaining to watch.
Yeah. But Adam Sirota is in line for a recall from injury, on loan from Utrecht, where Tommy Orr plays his trade, and Michael Zulo, who's currently on the injured list. So it just shows Brisbane's depth in the midfield.
To bring in someone like Sirota is it's very good, very
even have an option like Lustica as well. I mean, Miller didn't have a great game on Sunday, but it's just a quality side. So this week, Adelaide, Melbourne victory.
Massive game, especially at the Adelaide Oval. I mean, that's going to be incredible, and 35,000 fans I think they're expecting, which is, again, an amazing attendance. But I think Adelaide this is difficult to pick.
Adelaide and
I just realised who they're playing.
Adelaide and Melbourne, no matter where they are on the table, it's again that old derby cliche, form goes up the table. But both of them are in good form. I mean, it's only been one game, but they've been great pre-seasons, and ended last year on a high, even though they both did get knocked out eventually. It's going to be an entertaining game, especially South Australians love the Adelaide victory derby.
I think it's worth paying just to go watch Gombau and Muscat. Like, they're the two most awesome, expressive. Chuck Kenny Lowe in there as well.
Well, every time the camera panned to Muscat on Friday, it was just him swearing. I know. Every time he pans to Gombau, it's like him dancing, not having a good time.
Does he really have a right to go off at the referee, though? I know. Considering I mean, he was voted the most hated man in all of world football.
Yeah.
Come on.
Graham Poll said he was the most hard to referee plays ever refereed in his life.
Does he have
just
a right
imagine
to say
if he played in the Premier League consistently throughout his whole career for a big club. Can you imagine if Manchester City were as big as a club back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Kevin Muscat, wasn't he there? No, he was at Leicester City.
Leicester, yep.
But if he was leading that back line up against Roy Keane, that would have been something special.
Wow. But I think Adelaide might just have, especially at the Adelaide Oval, in front of a massive crowd. Gombau, does he do a lap of the field when they score a goal now? He's got so much room.
It's a pretty big field. I don't know. He's not a fit man, let's be honest. It's an oval. It's not a
when they
rectangle.
score, he gets that zeal.
Cooper Stadium is like quite compact, and you look quite tired after last year's bowl. I mean, to get to the Adelaide fans is quite a mission.
But I'm really looking forward to that game on Friday night.
I really am as well. I am as well.
Same. I'm already daydreaming about Gombau doing a rundown.
We'll quickly run through the other fixtures.
Yeah, before the Sydney derby, of course, is Central Coast Mariners versus Wellington Phoenix. How do we see this going?
What type of derby is this one called?
Is the McGlinchey derby.
Oh, the McGlinchey derby. I like it.
Ooh.
I like it. They have the distance derby, McGlinchey derby. Wellington Central Coast, it's going to be an interesting game for Michael McGlinchey. I was about to say Matthew. I keep thinking of Matthew McConaughey.
He's so red, viewers. He is so red in the face right now.
He just looks so good. Let's just be honest, guys.
Come on.
He's a great looking man.
Stop it.
I think Wellington, Mike, they could possibly get a win here. I mean, Central Coast are coming off. I know they played pretty much a second team last night in the FA Cup. They did win 5-0 against Palm Beach.
Matt Sim, 4 goals in 20 minutes. Quite impressive.
Exactly for a former state league player as well. But I think Wellington they could pip this one. I'm actually tipping a Wellington win here.
It's going to be interesting to how this squad bounces back. There's not much depth in the Central Coast team, but they always get it done.
Although Phil Moss says it's the most amount of depth they've had in their history.
I think that means they've got all the same kind of player, same level of player, no good, no bad. But I think Wellington should win this one. I do believe that as well. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I'll tip Wellington, but again, it'll be a close game. Very, very close game.
Yeah, definitely.
3:00 on Sunday. It's David Villa's first home game. It's Melbourne City versus Newcastle Jets. Hopefully getting a crowd of excess of. I think their biggest crowd.
The biggest crowd besides the Melbourne derbies,
13,000 to a Sydney FC
and that's
game.
when Lucas Neal was there, and everyone just went because they hated Lucas Neal for rejecting the Melbourne Heart.
And so hopefully again upwards of 25,000. How do you guys see this one?
Melbourne City, Newcastle, Melbourne City. I didn't see much of the F3 derby because we were on our way to Sydney and Melbourne City, and Foxtel doesn't allow televisions in cars and subscriptions and stuff.
Yeah, but we are lobbying for it. So.
But I don't know. I just don't see Newcastle as just making him. Melbourne City look good at some parts of the game against Sydney FC. Not throughout the whole game, but again, they're missing pieces like Robert Corrin as well as David Williams. So they should. I'm not too sure about Williams, but Corrin should be back, and Villa should start.
I think Melbourne City will just win this game purely for the Villa factor. That's all I've got.
You mentioned Corrin, Villa, Damien Duff. I don't see how Newcastle can match them. The rest of the team matches each other, but I don't know. They don't have the quality. They will fight hard. It probably will be close, but I think City will definitely have it.
Yeah, and the final game of the round is over in Perth at the NIB Stadium. It is Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar. Brisbane obviously coming off a loss, have to make the long trip to Perth. Perth coming off a win. Can we see Brisbane going 0-2?
No, I reckon Brisbane will do it.
You reckon?
I reckon. Look, the Perth got passion when they played Brisbane was because of Baruchel. He's not there anymore. that was their mentality heading into those games. They still believe that he died. They like looking at the past. Baruchel, the NSL, it's done. Perth, watch the History Channel, please stop, please. Well, I reckon Brisbane will win. It'll be a close game because Perth are looking a lot better than. Well, their squad's looking a lot better than it ever has in the A-League.
I'm the same. I think Brisbane will get this one.
You do? I'm going to go with Perth on that one, guys. Or a close draw.
Should there be a big crowd at this game?
Well, I don't know. See, Perth fans only like teams that win. And it's only been one game.
You never know.
It's more than 15,000.
They could surprise us. I mean, it holds 20,000 now, I think, that stadium with the whole redevelopment.
If they get to 5 figures, that's for me, that's quite impressive for Perth.
Oh, and Andy Keogh, worth a mention. 1 shot, 1 chance, 1 goal. I mean, that was a nice.
It's going to be a good signing. It's going to be a great signing.
Definitely.
And they played Yusuf Hersi as a second striker as well.
Yeah.
On the weekend. It didn't look that bad.
There you go.
Yeah, Nichols, beautiful cross for Keogh's goal. It's interesting stuff.
Kenny Lau's got some good pieces to work with. If it's going to work, we'll just have to wait and see.
Football's nice, guys.
We're going to get to a song. This is Black Fingernails, Red Wine by Eskimo Joe. I'm still really keen for the Sydney Derby. You guys got me more excited. Anyway, stay tuned for the Real Football on Swire FM 99.9. When we come back, talk about Euro qualifiers.
Yep.
Swire FM.
Black fingernails, red wine. I wanna make you all mine. A lot of people underground. You wanna get there, you gotta go straight down. Whoa, straight down. Whoa. There's a culture everywhere. Smoke clouds hang in the air. you all apart. So loud, can't hear you call. You and I are gonna fall straight down. Straight down. Downtown. Straight down. The argument over God continues. Yes, hands. I'll understand and point our fingers. Ground. Argument over all continues. Yes, hands. I'll understand and point our fingers. Straight down, straight down, straight down. Black fingernails, red wine. I wanna make you all mine. A lot of people underground. You wanna get there, you gotta go straight down. Argument over God continues. Yes, hands. I'll understand and point our fingers. Ground. Argument over all continues. Yes, hands. I'll understand and point our fingers. Straight down, straight down, straight down.
That was Black Fingernails, Red Wine by Eskimo Joe. We're going to talk about European qualifiers. It was an international break for those of you who weren't paying attention to the European leagues over the weekend, which is pretty hard because if you're still at home on a Saturday night, like, or when you get home after it and you just want Premier League, it's not there. Because England's national team, for some reason, still has to play football even though they suck. You know, like, they still put hopes on the Three Lions. But we'll talk about the European Championship qualifiers. If you think Qatar beating Australia was a shock,
Get ready.
get ready. Please get ready. Netherlands suck. I'm just going to put it out there. Magic Gus
bad.
has not been magic for the Netherlands
No.
at all. Ever since he's taken charge, they played 3 qualifiers. They've lost 2. They played 4.
Lost 3, yeah.
They've lost 2, haven't they?
Lost 3.
Jesus. Good old Netherlands.
They've lost 2.
They've lost 2, Luke.
They've
See,
won 1.
come on. You're making me seem dumb here. They played 3.
We'll debate it after.
Luke doesn't know how to count. He's the...
Hey, I'm Dutch, come on. The boys played good.
The boys played good. It seems like Pim Verbeek is coaching the Dutch team, not Gus Hiddink. They reverted back to the 4-3-3.
Has he lost his magic?
Look, to be honest, the reason why LVG changed system is because there was no magic in that Dutch side. And obviously it's the same squad. It's the same players. I mean, they've brought in some youth players like Ibrahim Afellay. He's come back. But again, you see why LVG... Because the Dutch are very stubborn in terms of football. They all hated LVG when he went from 3-5-2 from the old 4-3-3. Gus has brought it back, and it's not working for the Dutch side.
Not at all. Not at all. And what about Germany, guys?
Germany have not looked good since the World Cup.
I think it feels like the World Cup form has carried through. Like everyone can beat anyone.
It's the World Cup hangover. Everyone's
so
suffering.
We might be able to beat a team if we only...
Nah, come on.
I'm going to call Mauritius to take advantage of this right now.
Let's be serious, Anthony. Come on. Continue, brother.
With Germany, they got done by Argentina. They drew with Ireland. John O'Shea scoring a goal in the last minute. In Germany as well. They lost to Poland.
In Poland, yeah.
And even though they beat Scotland, it was pretty much a few minutes to go. They nabbed it at the end.
It's not good signs at the moment.
It's not.
Not good signs.
At least they're not the Netherlands, and that's all Germans care about, as long as they're better than the Dutch. Portugal, they won this morning, but still not looking good.
95th minute.
95th minute
Winner,
away against Denmark.
That's
and they got off to a poor start. Lost at home to Albania.
Yeah, well, what about Albania, guys, this morning?
What about Albania, boys?
I feel sorry for them. I wanted to go to Serbia to play just a small game of football. Nice, peaceful, calm game.
Well, apparently it was the president's brother. He was flying some sort of quadcopter over the...
Foxcopter.
Yeah, the Foxcopter. I actually have the same quadcopter at home. It's a DJI Phantom. Anyway, he was flying it around.
You just have to get technical.
He was flying it around, and he had a flag on an Albanian flag, and started a fight on the match.
The Serbian fans didn't really take too kindly. And there's footage of Albanian players running for their lives as fans are charging at them. Things are getting thrown at them.
Yeah, as you said, if Brescia Borussia was there, it would have been a different story.
It was Brescia Borussia. If he was there, he would have taken them all.
He would have taken his shirt off like in that Sydney FC game and just would have said, come at me.
He would have won.
Come at me.
He would have been like Pascal Boschkart all over again.
Absolutely.
Except 20,000 of them, and I'm telling you, Brescia would have won.
It's good that we can do some real hard-hitting journalism on this. Just like hard-hitting, like, Branislav Ivanovic's right hook. As we saw this morning.
If Ivanovic went up against Borussia, Mourinho's not going to be too happy because Ivanovic is going to get floored.
Yes. Well, yes.
You reckon this will actually, because Borussia is so, he likes putting his brothers before him, do you reckon this will actually get him pumped to get a recall for Albania? Because they do want him. They always ask him and he's always said no. The travel is too much. There's no breaks. I miss my team's games. Do you reckon, though, this will, boil the blood for Borussia, and he's like, nah, this is it. I'm going back for Albania because they got to play Serbia again. It's reverse fixtures.
Well, they've got to replay it as well. This game,
and they got to replay it as well. Abandoned.
Yeah, well, will they replay it, or will they give 3 points like they did last time?
I think they'll just replay behind closed doors.
Because it's weird because an Albanian sparked the fight with the drone going over, but then the Serbian fans lost it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll wait and see, but Borussia's got to go back. I just want to see it.
Well, I think the biggest talking point to come out of the Euros was he wasn't caught offside this time. No, he got sent off. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Michael Misford,
wow,
the old Melbourne Heart player.
He's playing. He's a football.
He's still playing.
I
thought he sold the coffees at Amy Stadium.
I'm so interested. Tell me more.
He got sent off in the game against Italy. I'm not too sure what for, but yeah, he got sent off for that game.
The Michael Misford.
The Michael Misford. Yes.
Melbourne Heart. Michael Misford.
Gone.
Did you hear that the youngest player of all time in the European Championship made his debut for Finland?
15-year-old, yeah.
His name was Martin Ordengard. What were you doing at 15, Anthony?
Nothing.
No idea.
Playing FIFA, hoping to be Martin Ordengard.
This guy's in the Championship, and what were you doing? Nothing.
My life is going great.
Well, it's even worse now. 19-year-olds talking about a 15-year-old.
Yeah, but we're going to end the show. We're going to pass it over to JD for Swire Drive. Catch the latest traffic news. Weather. We're going to end on We Used to Be Friends by Dandy Warhol. JD, we're still friends. It's okay. Don't cry. It's all right. Anthony might not be friends after this Saturday because you might get angry because we're going to win.
Absolutely.
Sydney Derby, 7:30, Fox Sports, 44,000 people. Biggest derby in Australian sport. I'm sorry, Audi Codes. It's just so passionate.
It is.
It's East versus West. It's the beer lovers versus the coffee lovers. Soy cafe, latte, soy milk, my wheat bread, my almond bread, I should say, because I am from Bondi.
Excuse me, I'm from Bondi.
Yeah, you're from Western Sydney, mate, alright? Stop pretending you're a Smurf. This is We Used to Be Friends by Danny Warhols. We'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys.
Let's go Sydney.
Western Sydney is already
Red and black.
Sorry, man.